Good morning, my name is Braynerd Diaz. In this video, I will talk about multicultural London. London is one of the multicultural cities in the world. In fact, around a third of London's inhabitants are foreigners and estimated at the approximately 200 different languages are spoken in the streets in the neighborhoods. I will present below a list multicultural areas of the city. During a tour of these areas, it may be difficult if you to believe that they are still in London. Number 1. Chinatown. Chinese immigrants have occupied the area main street signs around the 18th century. That is also once home to mid-states and immigrants. Today, Chinatown is spaced with Chinese supermarkets and around 800 different Chinese restaurants. The epicenter of Chinatown is a great street, and you can't miss it. It's you happen to be in London. At the end of January at the end of February, make sure you visit this town to celebrate the Chinese New Year. 2. Cadman. Cadman is often known of its alternative city types, but believe it or not, it's also influenced by Latin culture, which also receives to explore. Here you can find a Cuban restaurant and bars where the favorite musical genre is salsa. Is that often packed with Spanish tourists. You so will able to find Spanish translation service available around out the area. Place visit in Cadman is enjoy a typical Argentine food in Patagonia. Drink the traditional Brazilian drink is caipirinha in the popular restaurant made in Brazil that tastes delicious Peruvian food in West Yard. 3. Brixton. Brixton has been declared a unofficial capital of the Afro-Caribbean community. Great Britain tends at the fact approximately 24% of the population inhabitants of the American of Caribbean descent. Around 130 different languages are spoken in Brixton. One of the most common dialects in this area is Jamaican. This neighbor is the also called behind the Caribbean restaurant, rage music stores, and the host annual Jamaican Independence Day celebrations. Place to visit in Brixton are Rex Music Store, go shopping on Electric Avenue, and eat at Caribbean restaurant. 4. Waltham Forest. Neighbor has a 1/80th population in Europe, consists mainly of people from the East Europe and the British Paganistan, and has several Portuguese, Italian, Spanish influenced restaurants and shops. Anyway, it's the typical European, and in fact will find the hard belief that you are not visiting in Europe. Place to visit in Waltham Forest, visit at Waltham Forest town, all of the Italian food and Trattoria La Ruga or tapas out for southern tap bars. 4. 4. Golders Green. Even notes the notes London is a home to Japanese, Turkish, and Korean. and Italian immigrants. Community is the one privileged place communicate behind to the area from the moment power in Germany. But by the year 1950, the Jewish community had thrived. Today is the home to the common church, cafes, and bookstores where it detects of the Judeans. In fact, in the influence Judeans in the area is the shoots at the official home of the famous dancer Anna Palwar has been transformed into the Ewich Cultural Centers. Place to visit Golden's Green. You can visit to Zoo, the Golders Hills Park, the Strix Temple, and enjoy an annual Divli Festival of Lights. 5. Tolkien. The neighborhood located in the south of the London is most influenced by Asian and Indo culture. There are even those of the area Little Indian or the curry courier. Local shops often stock with the Asian food and spices, to not mention to the plethora of their international food restaurant. Austrian cafes to Spanish tapas to the fine dining French and Italian restaurant. Place to visit in Tolkien is try some delicious curried skid at Apollo Banana Left and enjoying some skidabat and fala del at mesa. 6. Alien. The network characterized by culturally diverse populations, some are the most relevant communities in this area 5 years ago were the Irish, Indo Japanese, and the Dutch from South Asia. Forever, holding with a Polish community in the region significantly in this area and in general is out of the London. So common to find the kind Polish restaurant and soap. During for tours, we will also to be able to visit Kennedy Monument, which they recorded in honor of the 80,500 Polish prisoners of the war disappeared from the concentration camps for Ostov in 1940. Place to visit in Ilian is Kerry Monument of Shri Guru Savannah Temple. You can also enjoy international cuisine Station Paradise, Oakridge Road, and three some smoked and the Polish deli. 7. New Malden. The neighborhood is lacks Korean communities outside of Korea, and this for therefore community now a Little Korea. As you can imagine, you can around 20 or more Korean restaurants and cafes. This place even use Korean language or the calligraphy dates since of the advancement. It's also common at some local church and education institutions. Korean is used as one main language. If you want to try a little more typical Korean food, the New Malden hosts the annual Korean Food Festivals, and the singing is your thanks. You won't have to go too far find Korean karaoke bar. Place visited in New Malden is Buldadapia Temple, and join some Korea of Kan Bar and kimchi plates of Korea garden. Thank you for your attention.